Dating back to last year's playoffs, I think one of the bigger moments of the entire playoffs was that when you sniffed out the fake punt and you were able to turn it around to the Texans. Now that months have passed and you're able to really truly look back at the season, so what did that moment mean to you, and how do you take that and maybe teach some of the younger guys moving forward?
Yeah, it was a good play. It was a great play. And there was a lot of good plays to look back on. But I'm looking forward. I'm not looking back. Last year was last year. We had a good time. We did great things. But we're moving on. Something to teach the younger guys is every play matters, and that's what they need to be prepping for in the NFL. At any time, you can make a big play for your team.
Let's go to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Dan. Spags mentioned earlier today just how much you guys in the back end move around on particular whoever the safeties are. Just from your standpoint, how comfortable is that doing it this year versus last year? And secondly, because you guys are facing the Texans again, are there certain things that you can see on film or certain things that you noticed from last year's games that you guys can implement and maybe perform better at this time around?
Yeah, so we do move around a lot, and that speaks to the ability of the players that we have, especially in the secondary, being able to play multiple positions. And that gives us a huge advantage because, we can confuse offenses and also put players in favorable positions. And then, yeah, we've got game film from 2 games from last year to look back on and make improvements. So that's a huge advantage probably for both sides, for coordinators going into it. And no, it's going to be a great challenge. I love the fact that we get to start off with the Houston Texans.
Let's go to Herbie. Go ahead, Herbie.
And then I'm going to take your attention to the other side of the football. Based on where you line up, Jody Fortson, what you've seen from him this year compared to last year, what's been his biggest step?
Yeah, we got to see Jody on the scout team last year. And, he's a big body, physical, athletic, and can go up and challenge the ball. And so he gave us really good looks last year on the scout team, and he's doing the same thing this year in practice. And so it's a great challenge for the guys that match up on him because he is big, athletic, wide receiver that you have to deal with.
Let's go to Robert Remsen. Go ahead, Robert.
Hey, Dan. So Coach mentioned earlier that maintaining intensity, especially on the defensive side of the ball, is something that he's concerned with this year. How are you guys going to keep up that intensity, and how important is it?
Well, if you've never seen the Badger out at practice, then, that dude's as intense as it gets. So we just follow his lead, and every day – there's something that sets him off and he's fired up about something. And so that gets the rest of us going. And it's fun to have guys like that care about practice, that can come in every day and compete and get the juices going and get the guys going. And without fail, he brings it every day. So we follow some great leadership on this team, and that's what's going to keep us going.
Let's go to Tyrann Mathieu. Go ahead, Tyrann.
Dan, how far, this year too with Steve Spagnuolo, and we saw how you guys really turned a corner in the second half. Where would you say you guys are now? Do you have to back up when you got new people coming in, you're kind of starting over, or are you just picking up from where you were at the end of last season, and you expect this defense to be hitting on all cylinders as soon as you start the year?
Yeah, absolutely. I've had that same feeling that we just picked up exactly where we left off after the Super Bowl. And, yeah, we were hitting on all cylinders and playing good defense. And I would argue to say that with the time that we've had, this ramp-up period plus training camp, we're really dialed in on defense. And the coaches know the personnel. We know the scheme, and it's that'll be good for us.
Looks like we got one more question. Let's go to Herbie to close it out. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Dan, you mentioned Matthew's intensity and you mentioned Fortson's athleticism. Yesterday at practice during one-on-ones, Jody had that one-handed leap and grab over Mathieu, and Mathieu even tweeted about it that he was impressed. But how impressed were you with that play?
That's a good play. It's just fun to watch those guys go out and battle. It's fun to compete against the players on our team. There's talent across the board. And so it's incredible work that we get to have when we go out against our offense to compete against these guys, these wide receivers, tight ends, Travis Kelce. And so it's awesome. We just go out there and we compete. You know, you win, you lose, you battle, you come back, and it's all about getting better on both sides.